Okay, a warm good evening to everyone. So, welcome again after a so long gap for Echoes Within with Dr. Nila, a sacred space to share your message with the world. So, this platform is created to bring in the real stories, raw emotions, and powerful transformations. So, here we dive deep into the echoes which is living each inside each one of us. Some of the wounds, some of the wisdom, some of the inner strength that is shaping our lives. And I'm Dr. Nila, your host, your life coach, Reiki Grandmaster, and your success alignment mentor, your companion on your journey to your self worth and for your success towards emotional freedom. So, today I'm deeply honored to invite our special guest who touches so many lives by her extraordinary compassion. She is a trauma healing coach who gives clarity to your confusion, calm to your emotional storms, and touches so many lives. So, let us welcome Mrs. Sarita Dmello, a trauma healing coach, to our show today. Welcome, Sarita. Hi.
Hi, thank you, Neela, for having me on this show. Thank you so much. On
Wow. So yeah, it's always my pleasure to have you here in our podcast. So I'll jump directly to our podcast. So Sarita, as a trauma healing coach, can you share your journey? How how and what is that turning point in your life that you decided to take this trauma healing as your journey?
so I think it was around COVID when everything went online. Before that, I was a homemaker. So once there was so many courses online, I started learning so much and being an avid fan of mental health. Like I'm a student of psychology, so I love to learn about mental health and I love to see how it affects the person. And I've also witnessed a lot of mental health illness in the people around me, right from the time when I was little. I have seen people who were emotionally dysregulated, people who could not handle their emotions. They had a lot of anger, they had a lot of anxiety in them. So that is what prompted me to go and study and learn more about it. Now I have when COVID struck, I started skilling up and I got my life coaching. I've got a life coaching certification in two fields. One is in positive psychology, and one is just in life coaching. Then I've also done my NLP. I'm an NLP practitioner, and I've done my trauma healing. And I practice several modalities. I've even done my Reiki, but I'm not a grandmaster. But I do healing on myself and my family. So yeah, so that
Wow, that's so great. I didn't know that you are a Reiki healer too. That's good to know.
thank.
Okay, that's good to hear from you, Seth. That's a wonderful thing. So, as a trauma healing coach, the word trauma, okay, right? So, as a trauma healing coach, what do you think is the most misunderstood concept about trauma?
So very often people think that trauma is the incident that happened. For example, you got punished when you were a child, or you met with an accident, or you were hurt very badly emotionally as a child. So people think that it is the slap that you got or the criticism that you got, but actually that is not it. What happened inside you is what is trauma. How it changed you from that small little child who was not able to fight back, who was not able to speak up. What happened inside you? And trauma has a way of making people shrink, live less than what they actually are. And that is trauma.
Wow, great. Beautiful explanation. And whenever we talk about trauma, it means many people understand as some it is happening in childhood. and it's true to a greater extent also, that childhood shapes our adulthood, right? So if, according to you, what do you think that how that childhood pain, right, shapes our adulthood, our career or relationships, whatever?
Yeah, so as I said, trauma makes you shrink because at that point in time when you were so small, you were not able to respond, you were not able to fight back. So that makes you feel that you are less than everybody else. You are not worthy, you don't deserve, and that stays with you until you realize what is the background, what is playing in the background. So this also defines your beliefs, that you believe that I am not worthy, I don't deserve anything better in my life. So it keeps you playing small, it keeps you pleasing other people, it keeps you sabotaging all the opportunities that come into your life. It makes you very irritable, or it makes you, like emotionally numb. You're not able to feel things to the extent that others are. So this is how trauma affects people who have a lot of emotional wounds in their childhood. They're carrying a lot of pain from childhood.
Yeah, so true. And most of the people are suffering from that, from this,
Absolutely.
even without realizing that they are in, they mean their body carries some trauma. They are maximum there. But I could see even in a simple message, I mean, particularly in this online world, we could easily locate people who are going through so much, but
True.
really they are not aware. So how, can you explain in short what are the signs that may show up to find people that they are in emotional wound? Because the people maximum think when they have money or when something like that, they think they are happy, they don't have any traumas, since because they have good childhood, good parents, rich parents, good schooling, they think they don't have any traumas, right? This is one of the biggest challenges I am facing in this industry, making them understand that they are in the emotional. So, what do you think that what are the signs that show up as emotional wounds that people haven't acknowledged it?
Yeah. So the one thing that I notice, even in my clients or the people around me also, that stands out is anger. I feel people who have been traumatized when they were young hold a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and that shows up in their adult life. They're very irritable, they're triggered very easily. You can't speak to them. They will just, get angry so fast. And they also they will start people pleasing. They will overwork because they are always out to keep the people around them happy so that they don't have to suffer from the consequences of it. So they're always people pleasing. They're always, you know, they don't look after themselves. That is the first thing. Self love is at a low. They don't look after themselves, and they have all of these symptoms which keeps them stuck in a rut, in a pattern, in a very negative pattern. Overthinking is one. A lot of negative thinking is another thing that you will see in people who are traumatized from childhood. So these are all symptoms that you can recognize.
Yeah, yeah, that's a classical sign to recognize, and even they can locate it easily. And see, when people are in anger, they just go hit somewhere. Either they hit other people, or they themselves go and hit somewhere, or they break things, they break their phone, they break their head, they do something. Their
True.
body is reacting to, right?
True.
But when we say that your trauma resides in your body, they don't understand or they don't accept it,
Hmm.
right? Then why are they reacting? Why is their body reacting when they are in the anger? Why should they harm others or they harm themselves, right?
True.
So, as a trauma healing coach, what do you think that does the body plays a main role in storing or releasing whatever the trauma?
So what happens is, I'm an emotional wellness coach too. So emotions are very strong when you have gone through trauma. Okay, and a lot of the times those emotions have not been processed. So what are emotions? Emotions are energy in motion. So when this energy is in motion and it is not being processed, it goes and gets stuck in different parts of your body. causing aches, pains. And if it is a prolonged thing that has been happening for a long time, it even transforms into diseases. So when you hold on to a lot of resentment, you end up having cancer. You feel that some of your organs are not working properly. So energy gets stuck in different places. And the only way to release all of this is through movement, through breath work, through grounding, through somatic work. So these are all techniques that help you release all of this stuck emotions in your system. And because the mind and the body work as one, that's why it is very important to work with both and not just with one.
Great, great. So people need to understand this also. And it's very, what to say? It's so sad that we have to put lot of work to make people understand this basic concept which everyone should default to know.
So,
Right? Somewhere we have lost that. And whenever I have a clarity call or a discussion with my friends, whatever, and I say, talk about healing, trauma, everything, they just say, do something, and they say, this is enough for me for my healing. But I could locate easily that if they are not healing, they are just coping.
so,
Because I have also done that same mistake. Because I now know, I'm aware of that. Since I have learned it, I could differentiate between that coping. They are not healing, they are coping. It's somewhere the coping mechanism. They are adapting to buffer their emotions. Right. So, as a trauma healing coach, what do you think is the difference between coping and the real healing?
so what happens when we are not feeling good about ourselves? Let's say something happens and we are feeling horrible. Now we don't want to feel that. And it's a constant, it's a lingering emotion that's going on. What do we do immediately? We take our phones and we start scrolling. Or then we start shopping online. Something, anything that distracts us, or anything that makes us feel good, because we don't want to feel the pain that we're feeling. So that is coping. And your coping mechanisms are plenty. You will binge watch, you will binge eat, you will end up eating lots of chocolate, you will end up eating all your chips or whatever it is that makes you feel good. So that is what coping is all about. But if you want to heal, healing is actually feeling the whatever you're going through and letting it pass, or letting it releasing it, understanding what it is that is making you feel the way you are. So there are techniques to releasing all your emotions during and healing it. So yeah, so you can, in order to heal you, there are lots of techniques that you can use in order to release it in a proper way. And believe me, it just takes a few minutes, but we don't realize. We would rather feel the pain, or we would rather take a shortcut and use our coping mechanisms. So
Great. Yeah, yeah. Beautifully explained. Um, I mean, I'm finding it difficult to make people understand it's they are coping, they are not healing. And the main disadvantage is that when you're adapting with the coping mechanism, your trauma is not getting released. It's going to be a trigger again and again. So you beautifully explained it. And one more thing I want to ask you is that why do people self sabotage, right? When life gets better,
yeah,
why do
so
they self
so
sabotage?
so people are always so comfortable in just what they're doing, even if it is a little painful, but they're happy because they're used to this. Now this is like a, it's like a rut, or it's like a grind. Every day you're doing the same thing. You're getting up, you're doing your work. Even if you get 10 shoutings in the day, you're okay with all of that. It's like your comfort zone. You're happy being unhappy. Okay. But if somebody tells you that you just have to put in a little effort and you have to do something that will give you bigger results, your life will be so much better. Or let's say, for example, uh, even if they tell you, come on, you need to heal, you have to get up in the morning and you have to meditate and you have to deep breathe. Now, this is not something they used to. They're like, who's going to get up early in the morning? Your mind will start overthinking and giving you reasons why it is better to be where you are. why should I get up early in the morning? Why should I meditate? Why should I can't sit still for too long? It's not, and how will breathing help me? Or how will, so everything that is new will be questioned because the mind wants to keep you safe. This is your bubble which you are familiar with. Anything outside the bubble is dangerous. So when you keep overthinking, that's the mind telling you don't go there, and that is why you decide not to go there, and that is self-sabotaging because you're not moving outside your comfort zone and make trying to make your life any better.
Yeah, that's what you told. I remember one sentence by my mentor. People are comfortable being uncomfortable in their comfort zone. That's what he was. So they are happy being unhappy. That's what you beautifully explained. That's right. We have been also there, but
Yeah.
it's so sick to see people again there.
Actually, the only thing that makes a person change is only if the discomfort is so much that they say, I've had enough, and then they take one step outside their comfort zone. And when they realize that, yes, this is doable, I can do this, it is not as difficult as I thought it was, then they take another step and then they start moving outside their comfort zone into another comfort zone, a bigger comfort zone. But that is how you grow in life. That is how you change your patterns. That is how you make a move towards something that is better.
Yeah. So you were mentioning about this pattern, right? So what are the patterns maximum people repeat unconsciously or unknowingly due to unresolved traumas? Because trauma are the causes for the patterns to repeat, right? Maximum people know that. So
Yeah.
what are the patterns they repeat unknowingly due to this unresolved traumas?
So very often you will see people attracting toxic relationships in their life. By toxic relationships, I mean relationships that are not good for you. So they will attract, for example, they're in a at a workplace, okay, and their boss is constantly picking on them, but they have not understood what they have not learned the lesson, they have not understood why this is happening, so they just leave the job. But at the end of it, they will end up in another job with that they'll get a similar kind of a boss. So this is a constant pattern that keeps repeating itself, where they will constantly keep finding these people in their lives, toxic people. And another thing that they will keep doing is people pleasing. People pleasing is one of the biggest symptoms of trauma. You will see it happening everywhere because you want to keep your place safe, everybody happy around you. So that is something that you will see continuously until you heal and or until you recognize the pattern. People pleasing, attracting emotionally unavailable partners. Even as a spouse, you will get somebody who you can't talk to, somebody who's too busy in their own world. So then you will, yeah, so these are some of the patterns that you will keep seeing. Even with money, in every area of your life, there will be certain patterns. Say, for example, money. If you're not used to handling money well, or you don't have any self-worth, then you will not value money. And as a result of which, that is a pattern that will keep showing up throughout your life. So healing is so important on so many different levels, where it affects every area of your life. So I think that is the primary thing. You want to change your patterns, heal.
Yeah. So, and I could also see that whenever we talk about trauma, people think it is about relationships. Maximum, right?
Yeah.
Relationships are the core. We know everyone knows that. But do trauma affect our ambitions, career growth, or our self confidence? To what level it affects the trauma?
So it is us, right, at the end of the line. So our ambitions are based on what we think of ourselves. So if we feel that we don't deserve, maybe I will not be able to do this. Maybe I don't deserve so much of money in my life. I'm okay with this much only. So we set a bar for ourselves that I am fine with this. I don't want this. So that is where we're stuck. That is where we don't even attempt to achieve more, or we don't, we're just happy being what we are. And that's why this is how trauma keeps us, stuck in our lives.
Yeah. So yeah, this is also a great thing for me to remember. Like having gratitude is different from being stuck. People confuse these also. I'm
Yeah.
happy where I am, and
Yeah.
they get stuck and stagnant. And stagnation means reverse, not the growth,
Yeah.
right? So, and when I was about to ask about inner child healing even before, but I forgot. So we talk so much about inner child wounds, everything that childhood wound decides our adulthood relationships, confidence, whatever. So how does inner child healing actually look like in real life?
So inner child healing is all about reparenting that little baby who never got the love, attention when they were small. They only got punished, they got shouted at, they got criticized. So now it is our turn as adults to reparent that child, to give that child the love, the protection, the safety that they never got then. And when you start making your inner child feel safe, then your world starts changing. Everything around you also starts changing because you then also develop safety in your body as an adult, and you start being able to take on bigger challenges in life because you now feel safe in your body. You feel safe to be able to do bigger things. So that is how inner child healing is very crucial to moving forward.
The base to move forward, we can
Absolutely.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong foundation. So, and also, I have heard from even from my mentors, from my friends, everyone that healing is a journey, it's a lonely journey. So many things about when stepping into this healing. So, what is making this healing journey so painful and at also free at the same time, right? It's both sides. How
Yeah.
is that working in healing?
So when you want to heal, healing is about going back into your past and healing all that you feeling all that you did not feel then. So even if
Correct.
it means crying, letting it out, feeling that, and releasing it, it's an energetic release. So releasing all of that is what makes you lighter, and it makes you calmer as a person. So all that anger that you were carrying, all that irritability that you were carrying, all that frustration, all of that goes away and you become a much calmer person. So that is what healing looks like. Where just actually you have to feel it in order to let it go. And there are lots of techniques to do that. Not everything is painful, not everything requires you to sob buckets of tears, but releasing it is important.
True. People think that when we ask them to feel, many people they run because I have forgotten it. I don't want to remember it back again.
Yeah, yeah,
Without, but they don't
yeah.
understand the importance of releasing it.
So
It's not only
recently,
feeling, it's
yeah,
releasing. Yeah,
recently I had a client also. She was so against feeling the grief, or she was so against because it was too painful. So we had to try other techniques with her in order to, help her get over that, whatever she was feeling. So not everyone, see, some people think very logically also. They were like, okay, no, I will think about it and okay, that's it. I don't want to do any other techniques. So especially I have noticed this with men. Men have a big problem with crying or releasing it through tears. So yeah, but you can use a lot of techniques and release it, and I think that is fundamental to growth.
Great, great, great. So, to be it precise, what is that one myth you want to break today about trauma healing?
So, one thing that I believe about trauma healing is that there's no age limit to trauma. Like, you don't say, time will heal. I don't believe that. I think I have seen people who are 80, 90, and who have passed away also, who have not healed. So time does not heal, and they still have symptoms of trauma throughout their life. So the thing is that if you want to grow in your life, if you want something better in your life, then you need to heal. So don't wait until you're 80 to say, okay, now I've forgotten about it. But no, somewhere down the line, those mannerisms, those behaviors have still continued throughout your life, and they've kept you small. They've kept you from growing or achieving your best.
Great. So, you were talking about your client, right? So, can you share any your journey or your client's journey, the highest transformation you have witnessed that's moving you emotionally?
So I think I would say that I will speak for both me and my client. For
Yeah, sure.
example, like when I started my healing also, I noticed that I too used to people please a lot. I used to take a lot of, I used to bend backwards to help others. But today, I am very firm about what I can do and what I can't. And I know that that has safeguarded my mental health. And it is just, it is something where I know that I'm so much more calmer, so much more in control of my life, so much more um, aware of what is happening around me and how to deal with it in a calm manner. Similarly, like I will give you an example of a client of mine when she finished her healing sessions with me after she felt like now she was in a better place. She told me that Sarita, when I go to office now and I look at everybody behaving like idiots, I, I feel like I feel sorry for them because they don't know what they're missing out on. They don't know that it is a place of power to be in when you are healed.
True.
So that is one thing. And my client was on antidepressants too. She got off antidepressants after our healing session. So it really has wonders in your health too. Once you heal, you will realize that your health too improves.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Health too improves. Everyone, please note. So it's so wonderful conversation, Sarita, and this topic being our favorite, this is going to never end. How much of a time we get. So if we have to coming to the end of our podcast, so if you have to give any one key takeaway to our audience today, what would it be?
I think the one key takeaway would be awareness. Be aware that you have trauma, acknowledge that you have trauma, and then take steps towards finding out what your trauma is and towards healing it. That is the one thing. Because if you want to do anything in your life to function as a better human being and stop being in patterns, cycles, rut, then you have to look at what needs healing in your life and just go ahead and do it.
Wow, that's a great takeaway. Awareness. Awareness is the key. So thank you, Sarita. Thank you so much for accepting this invite and taking your precious time and sharing your valuable wisdom and your knowledge here with our audience. So thank you again for this
Thank you so
opportunity.
much, Neela. I totally enjoyed the podcast too. It was lovely chatting with you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. So thank you everyone who all participated in the live and those who are watching through the recordings, and see you all in the next podcast with one more wonderful speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.